Hello there. Good evening if you are watching live. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. My name is Jack Willard, and we're here on a Wednesday night. We've gone from heat to air conditioning in the span of about 8 days. That's what New York is like. So I do have the air conditioner running. Andy put it in the window just a couple of days ago, the fan as well, although we're going down. Now we're going back into the 60s where we were in the 90s. It was almost like we were in West Palm Beach where Richard Lyon is recuperating from his procedure. I hope you're doing well, Richard. Elaine Peterson, way out there in Spokane, Washington. How are you? Hey, Jack and family. Nice to see you. Well, I can't really see you, but I know you're here, as I know Karen Phillips is here, also from the state of New York, in a place I've never really heard of or been to. Hi, Jack and everyone. Hi. Miles Wright is here. Miles and Judy Wright. Hi, Hack and everyone. Well, I've been called that a time or two, I suppose. Or Jack. How are you, Miles? Good to have you aboard. Yes, Floyd is with us. He's do you know Floyd? Are you old enough to remember Floyd the barber? I hope so. Um, he is drenched in pink coloring, so he is, of course, gotta get up for this one. He is Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd. I loved the character of Floyd the barber on Andy Griffith. I love them all. It's just one of those incredibly special shows. It's kind of like being a Dark Shadows fanatic. I'm talking about the original series. Nothing against what Johnny Depp did, but it was just a parody. I didn't expect him to try to match what Jonathan Frid did as Barnabas Collins. Karen and I are just finishing out the fourth time of watching the entire series. It's amazing. 1,245 episodes, but not really, because some of them are, it'll say like episode 991 and 992. How can it be both? You know, it's one or the other. But I see Jane Justice has made it. Hello, Jack and everyone. Haven't been here in a while. Was in the hospital and again in the ER. I hope it wasn't anything too serious. We've had quite a few maladies, including with Richard and other people, you know, that have serious stuff going on. As we get to that certain age, many of you are at that certain age. I don't expect I have too many teenagers watching me. But Nancy DeMarco from the tornado state of Oklahoma is here. Hi, Nancy. I hope the winds are calm. I hope the winds are calm for you. Hello, Jack and friends. Nice to have you with us. Helen McDonald from Australia, where it's like what, late morning there, right? Hello, Jack and friends from Australia. And I think that's what we've got covered, although my count says 25 are watching so far, 6 likes. Last live show is pretty successful. The one before that was even more successful. The biggest audience is always the replay crowd, you know, and it depends what we're doing as to what we're going to get. Lovely Rita Maid is here. Hello, Jack and family. I'm trying to remember where you're from or if you've even told me now that I try to scan my aging brain. I'm going for an MRI of the brain tomorrow morning. Figure I better do it. Had 2 CAT scans. What are they good for? They're good for them telling you, well, you had that, now have the MRI. I thought I was done with MRIs when they put a defibrillator in my chest and a pacemaker. First, if there's a problem, and there never has been, no symptoms. I have cardiomyopathy, but there's a drug called Camzyos, which restored the blood flow to my heart. Very expensive drug. Thank God I have New York City retirement insurance. Steve, if you're watching, you know how good it is. Not as good as it used to be with the drug coverage, but okay, we'll deal with it. I was a pretend peace officer at a homeless shelter. I was, since I'm really a radio disc jockey, or certainly was back then, um, they weren't offering me a pension. I had 2 kids, this goes back to the first marriage. And I had 2 kids, and I knew radio, was not gonna pay what I needed. I needed to have that, New York City pension, and so I spent 19 years pretending to be a peace officer, didn't have a gun. We were in a homeless shelter in Chester, New York. They wanted to get the homeless out of New York City, so they bought a former ladies' female prison in Chester, New York, and they turned it into a homeless shelter. And I think that came about in the 50s. By the time I became an employee in 1988, it was a different breed of homeless people. You had to be 32 years old to get in there. And I tell you, they had better sneakers than I could afford. They had better watches and things like that. Some of them were collecting a check in the city, collecting a check up in the Hudson Valley. And, they were kind of players. They would go on buses, school buses, that would leave every day to go visit the city. And then we would won them when they came back. But did that for 19 years, worked with some really wonderful people, didn't make a whole lot of arrests. They didn't really want us to, but some of the young bucks would do it anyway. And then we would make the newspapers, and that would make people want to get this shelter out of their community even more. Hi, Bayou Girl. Hello, hello, hello. She's saying hello to Karen Phillips and Elaine. I am from LaSalle, Illinois. You did say that because no one else has ever told me they're from LaSalle. Am I saying that right? It's not LaSalle, right? LaSalle, Illinois. And we have been in the 90s here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Yeah, well, I think all of a sudden there was heat everywhere. I assume it was hot in Florida, as it always is this time of year. But boy, come January, I'm ready to get in the car and just go. But this past January, you would have had to go deep into Florida to feel warm. You would have had to get to at least the Port St. Lucie area. You weren't going to be feeling too warm on most days in Jacksonville, places like that. So, yeah, just like that. It's up to 33 watching that I know of. And of course, there's the replay. Hello, replay crowd. Nice to see you. Jody Smith is here. Evening, Jack. Just got back from dinner. What did you have? Did you have something nice? Oh, I don't even know if I want to mention this restaurant that's only in Texas. My son, who's a truck driver for U.S. Foods, passed it and mentioned the name of it. And then I looked it up. And sure enough, it's a chain, but it's only in the state of Texas. And I don't know. Some people will be offended if I talk about the place. It takes Hooters to another dimension. I mean, I don't know what it's really like inside, but I mean, the name of the restaurant, they've got at least 7 or 8 locations in Texas. Are you ready for this? The name is Bun Slut. Bun Slut. I'm not kidding you. Maybe we'll say more. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Let's see. Lee Noyce is here. You're new. Are you a male Lee or a female Lee? Hello, Jack. Missed you all. Just got a new cell phone. In and out of the hospital again. Oh boy, a lot of people are telling me things like that. I haven't been a patient in the hospital in a while. It's been a good long while. I think it might go back to 2014 when I had my colon resection, when they had found cancer in my appendix after they took it out. They took it out on Christmas Eve 2013. The brilliant surgeon, Dr. Oy, U-Y, great surgeon from Crystal Run up in the town of Walk Hill. About 2 weeks later, Karen and I went in and sat there, and he told me, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but there was cancer in the appendix." I tried to get him to change his terminology to pre-cancer, but that didn't work. So he said, "Now I got to do a colon resection. We've got to make sure this didn't spread." I tried to get him to reassure me that everything would probably be okay, and he said, "I don't know yet." You can't give false hope, you know. Can't give false hope. But very thankful to God that when the colon section was performed, it showed no spread. I saw an oncologist for like 5 years till she finally told me, "You don't need me anymore. You know, keep check with your GP, but you seem fine. And if there's any pain or anything, that's a different story." So that was undeserved favor from God. I certainly have not done much in my life that would deserve God's amazing grace. So I'm very, very grateful to the Lord, and his name is Jesus. His name is Jesus. So I hope you're going to be a lot better going forward, Lee. Okay, I thought it was LaSalle, Rita. And we are going to be in the 40s tonight. Radical swings, LOL, after they just fixed our central air in the two apartments here upstairs and downstairs. I see. Yeah, I haven't had central air since I think I lived in Rock Hill, South Carolina for a couple of years. That was my last time of having central air. Other than that, it's go to ShopRite. Yeah, they sell air conditioners. Why not? It's a grocery store. Go to ShopRite, get yourself $129 air conditioner, and it works fine. Works fine. Then we have a big one in the living room on the other side of this duplex that this kid had it in his room, rich family, nice home in Goshen, New York, and he didn't want it anymore. They said, "Well, it's heavy." I said, "Well, will you be able to help me get it in the car?" Because I knew Andy, who's my tech guy, and Karen's son wouldn't want to come out there. So he said, "Yeah, I'll do that." And it's the best $20 I ever spent. It's given us 2 or 3 years of beautiful AC downstairs in the living room, you know? So very grateful to that, for that. Jack had grilled tilapia with brown rice and Italian salad, an Italian salad. Yeah, tilapia's all right. I mean, it ain't cod and it ain't haddock, that's for sure. How many of you live near a Culver's, huh? I know I've mentioned this before. I wish I lived near a Culver's when I visit Texas or when I'm down south in Florida, like in Port Orange. They have one on the way to Port St. Lucie. Um, there's a Culver's there with the best cod sandwich I've ever had, certainly from a fast food restaurant. So, but we don't have one here. I think we're finally getting a Chick-fil-A down the road one of these years. I don't know when. So let's see. In our pictures, we've got a top. We've got Nancy Barrett, who played Carolyn Stoddard, Pansy Faye, and many other roles on Dark Shadows. We have Alexandra Molka, who played Victoria Winters. We have my beautiful partner, Karen. And we have President Trump with Caroline. Is it Carolyn or Caroline? I go back and forth. Caroline Levitt, who had a baby. Congratulations. She's such a wonderful press secretary. And she's looking adoringly at her boss, President Trump, there. On the other side, my daughter, Pastor Bob Joyce. Doesn't he look like somebody? I can't place it. We have that nice pretend bobblehead of me, that polka Sean. We love the polka. We were at the polka show Sunday. I'll tell you about that. But we have like a 12-minute video of 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr and the orchestra. And they do a lot more than polka. In fact, I don't think there's much polka on the 3-song video I posted. It's just a taste, a snapshot of Clark, New Jersey. Clark, New Jersey. Very nice afternoon. Karen was not feeling well. She didn't get enough sleep. She had these pain shots on Thursday, and that was seemingly interrupting her sleep. I said, Karen, I understand. I understand. They'll be disappointed. You're disappointed, but there'll be more polka shows. I understand. So I didn't even tell Sean until he picked me up, and they saw Karen wasn't with me. They picked me up and went down to Clark, New Jersey. Heavy traffic on Route 17, then on the Garden State Parkway. But it was a fun show. It was a fun show. Neo is here as well, Neo Neon, and searching. Looks like searching one truth. Too bad he's not doing a world tour. Oh, because you're looking at the title that I have. Now let me open up my own channel here. And well, who knows? Not a world tour. There's so far there's 3 Pastor Bob concerts this year. And we're going to talk about the first one because if you're seeing me live, it's this Friday, the 21st of the 22nd of May, and it's in Cabot, Arkansas. So we'll remind you of that, give you an update on that as well. All right. So let me go to my own channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. Bob Joyce look at that. It says Bod Joyce. I was doing it fast. I've been talking to somebody really famous in the reality television world. I'm not kidding you. And I was excited about that. So the clock was ticking away. And then I quickly put the title in as soon as I sent a message to that person. And I end up with Bod Joyce instead of Bob in concert. Obviously, I'll fix that in post. Bob Joyce in concert, hours away. Join us here. We will have fun. And we do have fun usually. We do. So, wow, look at that. My Michael Jackson video. Is that Michael Jackson in Brazil? Now, before some of you who may be seeing me for the first time think, oh, he's one of these conspiracy nuts. He thinks Michael Jackson is alive, and it looks like he thinks Elvis Presley is alive. But wrong on the Michael, at least, before you condemn me. There's this, video, and there's been more than one that's been all over, went viral on the internet. Michael Jackson on a bus in Brazil. But they didn't wait these people. They had to do it again, but now they put different clothes on him. Let it have its run before you prove it to be fake by putting different clothes on Michael Jackson. Looks like an aged Michael Jackson, and the video shot out of the gate. It's up to 5,300 views right now, which is good. It's only 6 minutes long, almost 7 minutes long. I'm not doing a lot of I'm not making money on it because shorter videos mean shorter places for them to throw commercials in. Like when we do 2 hours and 20 minutes, if we went that long, I'm not saying we will tonight, but if we do 2 hours and 20 minutes, which often happens for worldwide ramblings because we're having so much fun and people are watching, they got a lot of places to put commercials in, as you guys well know, and they even do it live, and I don't know that. I only know it when I see the replay. So that came out of the gate fast. 5,300 views right now. Wild new Bob Joyce video that's got roll-in video. 2 different examples of roll-in video with maybe Robert Wayne Joyce and Bob Joyce. You decide. It's a big mystery. You want a mystery to solve? This is the one. So that's got 73,000 views, and I'm thankful for those videos, but they're rare. They get harder. We've been doing the topic since 2018, but the story's going to heat up this year and very, very soon. So I've got a lot to think about, And so far, oh boy, my Suddenly 70, The Horror of Being Sure of Nothing, which is a great video, finally hit 400. It stayed at 399 for a while, you know? And the part two, and there will be a part three. I'm not giving up. When you do a new topic, it takes a while to catch on. The algorithm is not going to push it to people that might care about the topic. You know, if they're not in your audience already, you're going to have a hard time. Suddenly 70, making the rest of life count. That's got a mere 227, but I will not be discouraged. However, Elvis at 91 with that great picture. Elvis at 91 has 7,400 views. 7,400 views. The eyes, the eyes, the eyes, I tell you. And about 8 dozen other coincidences. As I say, I was only a pretend peace officer. I'm a radio DJ, but I had to fake it for 19 years because my kids needed, you know, the money, the vacations, and, you know, I needed the pension for later on. So there you go. This man will be in concert in Cabot, Arkansas this Friday, the 22nd. You say you're watching this after that? Darn, I missed it. There's another one coming and it ain't that far away. I can't say too much, but I'll say just a tiny bit more, okay? Let me put Pastor Bob back. Okay. Okay. 46 watching, 21 likes. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. That would be swell. My personal email is Jack the Fair Guy, like you're going to the carnival, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Jack, I baked a whole chicken with chicken stuffing. Yeah, baby. Got to make it wet. I don't want no dry stuffing. I want my stuffing to be flavorful. There's a few things you can put in there. Ooh, that's good. Rosemary, maybe? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Art Garfunkel. He looks like an aging psychiatrist now. A very aging psychiatrist. Paul Simon's going back on tour with all his maladies. He's going back on tour. Going to do one more. It's hard to stop something you love, isn't it? It's hard to stop when you love something. Jack, I bake whole chicken with chicken stuffing inside, homemade, inside. Oh, you put the, I see you put the stuffing right in there. Right in there. We did that all throughout me youth. All throughout me youth. And then they started saying, oh, it's not good. You could get ptomaine or something, cook it separately. That became a big thing in the 80s or something. And but we used to do that. Now we cook it separately. And homemade coleslaw, was it now the kind that KFC has? That's the kind I like. You know, that kind of would you say granulated or whatever? I don't like that strip stuff. The stuff that they sell in the deli is not fit for consumption. So mac and cheese. Well, this is Southern, man. Got to have the mac and cheese with the chicken. Green beans, love them. Rolls. Rolls. And you say now, today you're watching Dark Shadows. Well, good choice. You can see it on Prime Video. You can see it on Tubi. I guess you can see it on Pluto. A lot of cool stuff on Pluto if you browse through the channels. I just don't have that kind of time. You think in retirement I would have time, but I mean, between the doctor's appointments and now tomorrow I got to be at the hospital at 9:45 because when you have a defibrillator, probably didn't finish the story. I'm known for that these days. When you have a defibrillator, they have to have somebody from that company that made your defibrillator there, because if they don't do it right, it could become like a cheap horror movie, you know, where there's not that much room between your face and the top of that MRI machine, but suck you up and it try to pull the defibrillator out of your flesh. I don't want this experience. you know? I mean, what was his name? Ken Paxton? The star of Big Love. Uh, Bill Paxton had an unnecessary heart procedure and died in the hospital. He never really needed to have it. They sued and they won, but the doctor who was sued just went to a competing hospital on the other side of town. In other words, he went from Cedar Sinai, I think it was Cedar Sinai Medical Center, to another hospital in Los Angeles. So, loved Bill Paxton. Carol Cook. Hello, Jack, Karen, and all the family here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you. It's so good to have you. It's so nice to be with you. I love all the things you say and do. Everything reminds me of a song. That's always been the case, though. It's always been the case. I can't wait for the Happy Together concert in June 17th. I can't wait. It'll be so great to see the Turtles, the Trogs, the Association. Man, I love their tunes. One of the Chicago lead singers, Jason Schiff. I don't like his last name, I'll be honest with you. The name's Schiff, Shifty Schiff. No, but I probably like him a lot. I hope he's there because I know he's had some health issues as we get older. As we get older. And so let's do some Bob Joyce content here. It's already half hour in. So we'll just do a little update here on that. You say, too bad he's not doing a world tour. No, well, whether Pastor Bob is 74, like some would say he is, or he's 91, like many of us believe he is, that's a big job, But I'll tell you, Peter Noon, man, he is just astonishing to me. It's almost like he needs the money. He lives in Santa Barbara. It's not a cheap place, but this guy, I watch his live streams on Facebook, and he really hustles. And he's in his I guess combination office den at his house in Santa Barbara, and he's signing music sheets and stuff, and he's going to take them to the post office himself. You see him licking the envelope, licking the envelope, and he's got this concert coming up. He does a ton of concerts. Happy birthday to Peter Noon, who just turned 78 years old. 78 years old. Oh, yes. Happy birthday to Cher. She has been visible all of my life. Well, at least since 1966 when I was 10. Happy 80th birthday to Cher. I'm sure I don't like her politics, but that doesn't matter. She's Cher, and I love her. That's the way of love when you meet a boy that you like a lot, but he loves you not. Any of you ladies had that problem? Have you had that problem, Neo? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So there you go. Yeah, friendly family here. I've missed everybody for 2 months when I wasn't here. I just got my new phone today. Was able to get back here, and that's a good thing. Very, very good. You had to share that information. Well, that's not a bad one, Neil. Sometimes it's a swing and a miss. A swing and a miss. I'm going to get fizzled like Sebastian Maniscalco here. That guy who's doing him on Saturday Night Live. Between him and the guy who plays Tucker Carlson, they have saved that aging crappy show. I mean, it was so bad. I love Kenan Thompson, but you know what they're trying to push. All the humor they could have had between 20 and 24, they kept their mouth shut. They kept their mouth shut. No, they didn't want to do that. But they have no problem with the other man, do they? Todd Bradshaw, the Tennessee Titan from Sale Creek, Tennessee, is here. He has signed in. Here he is right here. Todd Bradshaw, say hello, 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 hello. Top of the evening to you, Todd. Has your Buc-ee's opened yet? See, Todd is being very cordial with other people, and that's really, really good. I don't know, sometimes I don't see enough of Richard. Maybe he'll come in tonight, but he's still recuperating from his procedure. Not yet. No Bucky's yet, huh? Wow. Well, you'll enjoy it when you get there. I don't know if you like the beef jerky. It's kind of interesting to me. I've only had it a few times in my life, really. But boy, they got a wall of beef jerky in Bucky's. They got more toilets and soap dispensers by every stall, too. I mean, it's amazing, and yet still the women's line backs up. You know, especially like on a Saturday. Richard is here, huh? I see somebody mentioning Richard. Oh, maybe you're just saying it because I said it. Yeah, yeah. Pray for Richard. Absolutely. There's others that need prayer here too, and feel free to. All of a sudden, this mysterious person searching in truth got tattoos, babe. Well, I'm not one of these legalistic people that say it's a sin to have a tattoo. I'm not going there. Um, it's certainly not the unpardonable sin. You know, I know. I know some people love tattoos. Karen has a bunch of tattoos. Not that she does have what they call a tramp stamp, and she's got a fairy up here. When she had her Botox injections for pain, Dr. Faskowitz, who's retiring from active practice, he's only in his late 40s or early 50s, but he's had enough. He was pretty vocal about the fact that he got long COVID, and I think he's starting to come out of the long COVID, but he almost died. It took the best doctors they have that love their colleague, Dr. Faskowitz. One doctor said, I'm going to hit him with everything we got. I'm not losing Dr. Faskowitz. And they hit him with everything they had. And he's in the hospital right here, the Garnet Hospital. And he wakes up and the television is on the local TV news channel. And as he's coming to consciousness, the first thing he hears is my partner Karen's voice doing an interview on the phone. You couldn't see her. Interview on the phone talking about what she thought the response was over at Crystal Run concerning dealing with COVID. And he says, I wake up, I said, I know that voice. I know that voice. He loved to tell Karen that story more than once, too. So anyway, she has this fairy. She's a Renaissance fair type person. She has this fairy with wings, and he would always say that, especially when he was had a nurse there, and he always had a nurse there, or maybe a doctor that was learning to do this. He would say, I usually put one of the injections right in the fairy's eye, right in the fairy's eye. Anyway, he wants to teach. He wants to have something to do with hospice, end of life, run something like that, you know. So I said, I just don't want to see you working at the Taco Bell. He said, I love Taco Bell. I said, well, I'm sure you'd be a manager. Lickety split. How many ice cream stands are called Lickety Split? We got one not too far from here. It's not the one we go to, but it's not too far from where I live. What about the short guy from Fantasy Island? It's a funny thing you should mention him, because what did I just see him in? Oh, yes, Neo. You got to watch him in Seizure. Dark Shadows fans, and there's now apparently a few of them here. In 1974, the first real movie Jonathan Frid did under his new management that were supposed to make him a successful movie star was the first Oliver Stone movie called Seizure. It's on Tubi. And Hervé Villechaize plays the villain in that movie. Young Hervé. Of course, it wasn't that long after that he did Fantasy Island. What were the years of that? I don't know. But it's not a great movie. Jonathan looks great. There's a couple of other people in there. It was a first shot for Oliver Stone, who would go on to do great movies. But you'll want to see that. Trust me on that one. I got you, Brenda. Is that Brenda Noyce or Brenda Lee Noyce? So you are related to Brenda Noyce. Is that what's happening here? Must be, must be, must be. We lost all our Brendas, then we started to get one or two back. Huh. Huh. I guess sometimes they come and go. That's the rule. That's the goal. That guy who plays Tucker on Saturday Night Live. What's wrong with you, Tucker? Come back to the fold. You took a dive into the shallow end of the pool, you know? Did you finally get your? I'm going to answer this for you for Neo, Todd. Did he get his final YouTube premium, sir? I have not seen you say ads yet. He did not get it, is my prediction. And he will say ads at some point, maybe not now. Yes, Neo, keep Jack on track. I should be on the track more often. I have to just walk kind of briskly, not supposed to power walk. And I'm certainly not supposed to, a light jog anymore. I bet I could do it and I'd be fine, though. Hobdob is here saying hello to Lee Noyce. So, Lee Noyce, are you Brenda Noyce? Are you related to Brenda Noyce? Have you ever had a Dave's Double from Wendy's? I was hankering for that today. It just didn't work out. What do we do? Oh, yeah, I had to see the foot doctor. Get my nails clipped. Got a lovely purple nail polish. That's a joke. I do not do that. I do not do that. But, when you're of a certain age and you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, they say you can do it. So I go in there every 3 months and see Dr. Ofskovsky. Dr. Ofskovsky. Well, Marianne Rossi, I knew you'd come back as soon as Clark, New Jersey was over. You just didn't want me. See, you don't know I know these things. I knew it. I said I won't see Marianne Rossi because she's not going to come to Clark, New Jersey, Polka Polish Hall, and she doesn't want me to keep saying that. So if she is here, she'll be invisible to right after the Clark, New Jersey gig, and that's exactly what you did. I should put up a shingle. I just don't want to get shingles. Anybody here have shingles? Ooh, they say that's painful. I mean, we have shingles on the house, but I don't want them in my body or breaking out my skin. So many things. So I don't know. Lee Noyce. Things that make you say, If I missed something witty, I'm sorry. Just for fun, I asked Meta if it knew about Pastor Bob. It said yes and gave me a long what? Then asked me what I thought. Oh, you asked AI. What do you call that? Gemini is that their AI? The Google. Let me have some of my cold lemon lime. I didn't want the sugar free this time. I wanted to have some taste. Once in a while, you got to have some taste. This is when it's frozen and it's thawing, you can easily overflow. Rather tasty. Not as good as something from Kung Fu Tea. I remember when they first opened in the ShopRite Wallkill Plaza, I said, they don't have any food? Come January, they won't have anybody in there. One of the rare times about a business I was wrong. Oh, yes, they've got lovely, tasty drinks, and people want them. They do. I often get the chai tea, large size, or I get in the summertime, I get the mango slush, They got bits. They call it the gelatin or something, but it tastes like pieces of mango at the bottom of the cup. Oh, they got some other concoctions I must try. They do a fine business. Kung Fu Tea. People love their drinks. They don't care if it's cold, and I think they have a few hot ones. I think they do. Um, I was talking about tattoos earlier, but somebody talked about them before me, right? Was that the in truth person? Kind of inspired me to talk about tattoos. I've never wanted one. I've never wanted one. Um, but I know that, back when I was a kid, the sailors had the tattoos. A lot of the sailors had them, and uh, all of a sudden it became a big business. I don't understand the threading of the eyebrows. Does anybody thread their eyebrows? I don't know. I don't know. Add Neo. I miss what Jack was saying. Yeah. Have cherry float Coca Cola. What is this, 1972? Throw all caution to the wind? As I told you, I think maybe a week ago, for me, it used to be to go to JJ Newberry's and have a strawberry ice cream soda. Put some carbonation in there and a hunk of ice cream and some strawberry flavor in a big glass with a straw, maybe two straws if you were with your best girlfriend, like Mary Lou. Hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart. Huh. How you feeling, by the way, Todd Bradshaw? I know you said you were struggling as well. I am drinking the same thing. You're kidding. Oh, we must be like blood brothers or something. That was a play on Broadway starring two teen idols. You know this was going to work, right? They couldn't. Yeah, the second teen idol, the brother of the first teen idol, real brothers in real life, or at least half brothers, had to be talked into doing Blood Brothers in New York. He says, "I'm offering you Broadway. I'm offering you Broadway. People are going to come to this. It's a great play, Blood Brothers." So David Cassidy had to talk Sean Cassidy into doing it. And once he talked him into doing it, oh, we'll just do a limited run. The tickets went through the roof. I think they did it 2, 3 years. They did it. They took breaks here and there, but 2 or 3 years they did Blood Brothers. I wish I would have seen that because it would have been great. But you had a guaranteed audience there with those two handsome lads. Carol Mullins, hi Jack. Shingles, oh my Lord, have mercy. I have had shingles for 3 weeks. Painful is no adjective. If you have had chicken pox, the virus in your body is in your body. I did. I did. And can be dormant for years and can appear right during a live broadcast of worldwide ramblings, all over pain. I'll have to make sure I can get that shot um, with the drug that I'm on. You always have to check when you're on Chemzios. Because, yeah, you're right. I'm thinking it's not going to happen to me. That's how we always think, isn't it? Jay Pogera, banana boats for everyone. Well, that sounds good. Yeah. Um, where was it that you used to pick a ticket or whatever, a numbered ticket, it seems to be, and you would find out how much you're going to be paying for your banana split. You had to start eating it first before you got the ticket because they didn't want you to say, I ain't paying that much. They would have, it would either be full price or less than full price. It was either Woolworths or it was Friendlies. That's where both my cerebellum and medulla are pointing me to. Steven Spielich is still here. Sometimes, Steven, it seems you're here and then you're gone. You amscram before we know it. And I say, where is Steven Spielich? Here he is right now. Yeah. I was never a huge Banana Splits fan because I loved. I missed Wednesday is Sunday at Carvel, which is a good thing. I don't need that. Um, I love those hot fudge sundaes. I would rather have my banana in a shake a smoothie, something like that. Like we had, was it yesterday? Karen made me a Suzanne Summers. That's her product line. I know she's gone, but the product line continues. Although it seems like her widower husband is trying to run it into the ground here. I don't know what he's doing. Nobody seems to agree with what he's doing, Alan Hamill. But that's the way it is. It's not my company, it's his. And he's let everybody know that. Happy birthday to Alan Hamill. He just turned 90. We lost Mark Furman, detective from the OJ days, at 74. I thought he kind of redeemed himself after he kind of redeemed his reputation at some point. I do think that. Let me just check here on my phone. So, yeah. Not even shots of Jack or Shanky's whip. I gotta stop reading you cold, Neil. I have to. It's like I've got to get a special panel where I can say this is the latest thing Neo is saying. I need you to give me advice. Here's the sentence. You tell me whether it's airworthy or if it's too risky or if it's a swing and a miss. A swing and a miss. Hi, Jack. How you doing? I'm doing good, Stephen. Overall, I mean, as I say, I'm not looking forward to this MRI at 10:15 in the morning. I'll be happy when it's over, but I want to come through. They were telling me if I didn't go down to Westchester, because Westchester said, come have it here. You don't have to wait till August, September. I said, oh, yeah, now you want me to add 3 hours combined of probably rush hour traffic, certainly going down, and coming back, it'll be busy too. You want me to add 3 hours of that to the stress of having an MRI? I don't think so. I'll wait. I've had 2 CT scans, and then all of a sudden she calls me up and says, how about next Thursday, the 21st? I said, all right, I'll do that. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I just close my eyes, I don't like to keep them open when I'm in there. I think of other things, and then they start yelling commands at you, and before you know it, they're pulling you out of there. There's a panic button, but I'm not going to press that. I just shut me eyes. No kidding. Same bottle, just not frozen. Yeah, you didn't put it in the freezer for a little while. Oh, it's good that way, Richard. Richard, what does that tell you? That's all like a Freudian slip there. Yeah, give us a little zest. But it's melting on me pretty quick because it's still warm here in the studio. Says 65. See, when it gets hot up here, it's like an attic, even though the attic is upstairs, and it takes a while. Still haven't done content. Marianne Rossi says, no, you are not a psychic, Jack. I wasn't on for 2 weeks. I had some trouble with my iPad. I see. You don't have a desktop, huh? You don't have a phone? Oh, okay. I've never had an iPad myself. I never had. I never knew you had migraines, Neil, but if you do, my heart goes out to you. I've never had them, but people that do, oh boy, I'd be at the anesthesiologist's house asking him to give me some propofol. Vicky Smith, I'm having an MRI on Friday at 10. All right. With contrast dye. They didn't mention the contrast dye to me, Vicky, so I don't think it's a brain, They're going to find out that I don't have one and I have to go to the land of Oz. Yeah. Have an MRI on Friday with contrast dye. Yeah, they never mentioned that. Not that it would really matter because there's really no prep for an MRI, right? There's no prep. So, yeah, I'm 10:15 tomorrow, and you're 10 o'clock on Friday, and then it's a double header. I got to be at Dr. Kapai's, my GP of like 35 years or more. Who knows at this point? Dr. Kapai at 2:30. Tooth hurty, see a dentist, will you? Huh. That's the guy downstairs actually says that. Elaine Peterson. Carolyn, I agree. I got the flu. I got the flu shot. Oh, yeah, this is going to be anti any kind of injections. I see. Yep. Coming from you, Elaine Peterson from Washington. I'm not surprised. Carolyn, I agree. I got the flu shot way back when I got so sick. No shots, people. She just doesn't want to deny herself. She wants to deny you the shot. I got the flu shot this past year and felt nothing, did not get the flu, but I never do. I don't know that I've ever had the flu. I used to get the bronchitis. You guys remember, if you go back to our live shows in 2024, I was getting them like every 4 or 5 months. And I had the machine, clear me up there, and I had steroids and, you know, thinking of a few ad libs that would not be appropriate. Hi, Patrick Wilburn. Good evening, all. How are you, Patrick? Up to 68 and 34 likes. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. If you can hit the ask button, which leads to the thanks button for a few dollars, that would help us so. We've been trying to push hard this month to get the views up, and we've had some success. But again, when you do a short video, it's not a typical short, which has got to be under a minute, but it was only 6 minutes and 53 seconds, I think, for the Michael Jackson video that's up. Watch that one. You don't get as much for it per 1,000 views as you would if it was 15, 20 minutes or longer, So, okay, I'll accept your explanation, Mary Ann Rossi. Every time I see Donna Rossi in ShopRite, I want to tell her that story, about you and how I say Mary Ann Rossi, not Donna Rossi, because she lives on California Avenue. And I'm never quite sure if I'm looking at Donna Rossi or one of our other classmates. We had so many people back in St. Joseph. Some of them come and went. They weren't there for years. But I said to Karen, how many people were in our class? 100? Because you keep saying they were in our class. They were in our class. And I do remember the name. And, of course, sometimes I remember them very well. But I still haven't told her the Mary Ann Rossi story. So I'm pretty sure now I know it's Donna. And the next time I see her, I'm going to tell her that story. So let's do content. I can't see anything you're writing when I go away from the page. All right, so Pastor Bob will have a charity concert as I do this on a Wednesday evening. It's less than 24 hours away. It is this Friday evening, May 22nd, to benefit the ABCFM Arkansas Baptist Children and Family Ministries at the First Baptist Church of Cabot, Arkansas. That's 204 North 3rd Street in Cabot, Arkansas. 72023 would be the zip. The doors open at 6. The concert begins at 7 p.m. Go to bobjoyce.org and read this. And I think you can just click on this and it'll take you right to the Facebook page where you can actually buy tickets. It says more details and ticket purchases can be found in the Facebook post at ABCFM Benefit Concert with Pastor Bob Joyce. And here's an update. Tickets will also be for sale at the door. Now, that could change in a moment's notice if somebody, if there was a big response today, big response tomorrow, whatever. But it looks good. It looks good for tickets available at the door. That's because it's graduation weekend. I'm trying to put a W in the word graduation. It is. And they're competing with that. And people that would have wanted to come can't come because of that. And so a chance for out-of-towners to go see Pastor Bob Joyce in concert this coming Friday night, 7 p.m. in Cabot, Arkansas, about 23 to 26 miles outside of Little Rock. You can fly into Little Rock. You might be able to get yourself a last-minute flight if you haven't booked it. Take an Uber over to Cabot, stay at a hotel there. Uber back, find some other people to come along that are going to the airport, save money that way. And I'm sure it will be a wonderful concert. A wonderful concert. Bob Joyce, Cabot, Arkansas, this Friday night, if you're watching me live, or soon after, the 22nd of May. Oh, the month is going too fast. Slow down. Slow down. You move too fast. Got to make the moment last. Kicking back. A cobblestone. What is it? Life I Love You and Feeling Groovy. That may not be the first verse. The genius of Paul Simon there, right? I think. Mm-hmm. Oh, so we're going to play a little excerpt a little bit later on from Pastor Bob's sermon, The Prince of Peace, from this past May 17th. Now, that's the first concert of the year. That's the first concert. There's two more coming at least, and they could add a fourth. September would be a good month. I'm being very careful what I say here. Let's acknowledge somebody new here. Hope that they're a friend and not a foe. Pam Donnelly is here, Nonstick Pam, and Beatle Voice. Elvis Presley opens the show, then Bob Joyce. Okay, you're witty like Neo. That's not necessarily a compliment. They started after a conclusion that caused a sprained neck in 2007. I'm in the middle of a conversation. Hey, Joe Worrell is here, looking for fun and feeling right. Isn't there a life I love you? Feeling groovy. Seems to me they put it 2 or 3 different ways in that song. Looking for fun and feeling groovy. Da 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 da. Who else did that? Was it Harper's Bazaar? Harper's Bazaar had a hit with Feeling Groovy. It sounds right, but I'm not 100%. No desktop, and my phone is too small to read. Oh, I see. All right. Did I see Homer here? Or am I seeing things? Where's Overbill Automotive? Is he here? Don't see the Grand Patriarch yet, but he's still recuperating. That's cool, Todd. I like that. We have similar tastes. Now, what's your other flavors? I bet you're like me. You're not a blue person, are you? I mean, you may go see the Blue Men like in Las Vegas. I hear they're good. I don't know. I've never seen just little clips, but there's no blue food, so I don't want a blue drink. So my flavors are simple. There's 3 of them. Lemon lime, orange, and red punch. And they try to fool you with the red punch. They got like 3 or 4 that look like it. No, you don't want the other imitations. You want the red punch. So red punch, orange, and lemon lime. What say you, Todd? So I'm so sorry, Carolyn. I'd like to hear more about that. And I'd also like to hear how you're doing in the other situation, but I'm not going to talk about it if you don't want to. But if you want to shoot me an email and say a little more and keep it between you and me, I would. Obviously, I'm curious. You could figure out that I'm curious for more than one reason. Jack the Fair Guy, Fair, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. So far, I saw Dr. Al-Shalabi. I think I've been mispronouncing that. On Monday, Karen and I went in there. He said, "Oh, I tried to find your YouTube channel." And I tried to find your YouTube channel and I couldn't. Typed in your name. No, it's the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. And my surname and my air name are different. I've always been Jack on the radio since 77 and here at YouTube as well. So, although there are things in my system, things as he looks at the CT scans and the special blood work that he does, that says that there's concerns. It may not be a reality. So he wants to get the MRI to make sure that he knows exactly what to do about this. And if he did want me to take a certain kind of medication, it could probably mean I couldn't take the Camzyos anymore. It doesn't blend with a lot of drugs, and those kind of drugs, I think, is one of them. 65 watching. So we got to a little content. I want to just say a little tiny bit more about the future. How cryptic can I be but say something? Because I know you want me to. And I'm hoping by Saturday I'll be able to say a lot more. I'm hoping, but I have to get the permission slip and the permission email, really. Or phone call. Um, the next concert will be relatively soon after the one May 22nd. It won't be in Arkansas. It won't be in Alabama again. I can say that much. It'll be in a very nice state that's considerably further away from Arkansas. And getting a ticket is going to be tough. So if you don't catch me say it for the first time or see it when they announce it on bobjoycemusic.com, perhaps, bobjoycemusic.com, you could easily get shut out of this one. And it's going to be very special, is all I can tell you. But so is Cabot, Arkansas, and I would love to go if I could. But the next one won't be too long after that. And there's not going to be a lot of seats. And then there's another one later on this year. That's all I can say for now. So watch us Saturday night. I probably will do a special video pop on. That's why you must have the notification bell on. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Carolyn, I am very sorry to hear that. Migraines are no joke and debilitating, as we know. I know that my mom, I think, had them, and then she kind of outgrew them. Got another completely anti-vax person here. So let's see. Somebody's talking about it. Elaine Peterson's been watching Dr. Reese. She's saying too much dye in those drinks. Blue is my least favorite Gatorade, says Todd Bradshaw. Leave it for the Smurfs. Exactly. Lemon, lime, and orange. There you go. I would say the punch is good, too. Sometimes I go Gatorade Zero because, they say if you're trying to lose weight, don't drink your calories, So I try to remember that. Try to adhere to that. Oh, I didn't shave. I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose guard. I didn't shave. Got my electric razor and everything. And if I don't do it when I'm thinking about it, the next morning I'm out somewhere and I say, I didn't shave. So I'm going to shave tonight. I'm not waiting. I'll be looking real scruffy during my MRI. She suffered, Carolyn, with crippling migraines since I was young, and both my children and my grandson also are plagued with these undescribable headaches. Oh, here's Shannon. I love that name. Shannon Louder. I'm one of those people too. It's okay. I'm not here to try to convince you. I have lost 8 friends and family to the poison vaccine. Well, people can say anything, and I can't verify that. I can't verify that. I can't look into each of their lives and do a study on it, so, um, I got Dr. Reese on the brain now, who you see here on YouTube. Well, here's one report. It's not the one I looked at. He's very anti-chemotherapy because we know good cells can be damaged in the process. He says it's like throwing fire into your body. This is from the Medical News Today. Um, Chemotherapy for cancer is a powerful treatment that involves taking medications damage cancerous cells. The goal is to prevent these cells from dividing and multiplying. Chemotherapy success rate and cancer survival rates can vary, of course. The article outlines the use of chemotherapy. Um, Cancer survival rates are one way to show how effective various treatments, including chemotherapy, can be. The survival rate refers to the percentage of people who live for a certain amount of time after a cancer diagnosis. This is not the one that I want. Let me try this again. Mm-hmm. All right, this will be a lot better. Chemotherapy does not have a single success rate. Instead, its effectiveness varies drastically depending on the type and stage of cancer. Its goal, uh, examples cure versus symptom relief, and whether it is used alongside surgery or immunotherapy. Success is heavily dictated by how early the cancer is caught. Here are some general 5-year survival examples. If you've got testicular cancer, that's very curable. Testicular cancer exceeds 90 to 95% success when you use chemotherapy, making it one of the most curable cancers. Breast cancer, nearly 99% for localized unspread cancer, 87% for regional, minus 32. What? For regional, and minus 32 if it is spread to distant regions. I see. Colon and rectal cancer, 64% if you use chemotherapy survival rate overall, and up to 90% for localized diseases. Lung cancer, 19% overall, but can reach, lung cancer is a tough one. Jack Klugman survived it twice. Hey, he had surgery, though, along with it. 19% overall, but can reach minus 57 if diagnosed as a localized stage. Minus 57? Is that what I said? Hmm. Because every patient and diagnosis is unique, these elements play a major role in calculating success for specific cases. The stage of cancer, chemotherapy generally has a higher success rate in early stage cancers or when the tumor is localized. Treatment intent. Chemotherapy may be used as the primary cure, as a adjuvant therapy to shrink tumors before surgery, or as an adjuvant therapy to kill leftover cells after surgery. Some cancers are highly responsive to chemotherapy, while others are inherently resistant. So if you have cancer and the doctor is saying, get your affairs in order, we're going to try chemotherapy, you might want to give it a shot. You might want to not say, well, let me see what caused this in my life. I ate too much sugar. I ate too much carbs. Um, uh, what other factors caused me to have cancer? No, you want to fight like hell to save your life at that point. You don't want to address studies on what may have caused this predicament you're in. So there is that. Good night, everyone. I didn't know you were here, Robin Roman, and God bless you all. Well, good night, Robin, and hello at the same time. I'm never going to convince you of anything other than exactly what you believe, Elaine, and I certainly respect your right to believe that. Hello, Jack and all. How are you, Mr. Homer Overcash? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shannon says, my brother was vaccine injured and was never the same after his bad reaction to the shot. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I had 3 COVID shots, and but I know there are people that have reactions to just about every treatment you can imagine. They have a different reaction. So I follow this Sydney. Let me get her picture. No, not Sydney Sweeney. I followed her around until they said, you're going to be charged with stalking. And then I stopped right away. Let's see here. There she is. Hold on a second. I love that sound. Please hit it. Sometimes it's a good sound. I don't really know till I look. And back to the live stream. Sydney is in her early 20s. I didn't get a very good picture, but it's better. She's in her early 20s. She's from California, but she's been down at the Sloan Kettering Cancer Hospital, been getting chemotherapy and other things. And just a couple of mornings ago, she's been doing this for a few years now. They've been keeping her alive. She's already past the initial life expectancy, and she's so young. She's got some kind of carcinoma. And the other morning, her mother was there with her, and the doctor walked in and said, I think we're going to stop treatment and refer you to hospice and end of life care. She looks great. He said, end of life care and take you off the chemotherapy. I just don't think we can make it work. And she said, no, I don't want that. And she immediately started looking and found a doctor pretty quick at another hospital in, I'm not quite sure where it is. It's not Massachusetts, is it? Could be. Anyway, this is Sydney. And so she's been through hell and back for the last few years. She did a GoFundMe page, and it blew up. It blew up. She got The people really care about her and what have you. And your comments now something about a goatee, Neo, are always in a category by themselves. I can't really grow a goatee, Joe, and I don't think I got that kind of face. But like I can't grow a full beard. I get a lot of peach fuzz here. I had a mustache when Karen and I first started going out. I had a mustache. I think it makes me look like a fat Asian porn star, but not that good looking. Well, hey, I can at least I'm good as Ron Jeremy, who's crazy go nuts now in the mental ward, right? Can't charge a man who's crazy go nuts. You know what I mean? Can't have a trial anyway. Um, so glad you're here, Homer. You know, if I don't have anything to add to a comment, I'll just let it go. Um, Carol Cook talking to Elaine. Carol Cook has COPD, and my specialist advised it. I have only had the flu once, and I'm going on 75 in September. Yeah, there's all kinds of stories out there. There's all kinds of stories. There's all kinds of beliefs and what have you, and everybody's entitled to them. I don't think I've ever had the flu. I don't think so. So Sydney will be going to another hospital and trying to continue on with the treatment. And you can see her on Facebook and Instagram and what have you. She's there. You can follow her. And it's quite a story. It's quite a story. Let me go to the email. There's Elaine Peterson. I see her already. Hello, Elaine Peterson. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, for hitting the Cash app for $10 for a love tip. I appreciate that very, very much. She's very faithful. Just closing some tabs here. I'll put the Cash App handle in here. Lowercase letters. Media Guy 56. I wish I never had to mention this, to be honest with you. Media Guy 56. That's the Cash App handle. Media Guy 56 for any amount, $2, $3, $5, whatever you can. If you've been watching for me for a while and you've been so blessed and you can do more, that would be wonderful. Cash App is the best place for bigger amounts, but I'm also very thankful to Google that gives me the thanks button for any amount. If you can hit that, I would appreciate it. Exercises really do help. That's definitely part of the brain health issue as well. I'm still having a few issues since my first back injury almost 2 years ago. Exercise at home and the gym once a week have helped me, but slow process. But you're in there fighting, and that's the main thing. 55 watching and 44 likes, worldwide ramblings on a on a Wednesday, the 20th of May 2026. 3 minutes of politics. If you're not interested in politics, you're already talking amongst yourselves, but it is a mad, mad world. I haven't thought about this too much, but so it's all off the top of my head. So we'll see what I can garnish from the top of my head. since we all know when it comes to the midterms elections, the big issue will be the same thing it always is. It's the economy, stupid, as they like to say. It's the economy. People are paying too much for gas and what have you. I totally support what the president is doing in Iran, and I'm willing to, and we have been willing to, to hold our opinions and what have you. It is very important that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon because they will use it. You can argue about that and what have you, but they've already told you they would, and they're not lying. They're not lying because they even sent a missile into Saudi Arabia, uh, their somewhat friend, so they will use it. So you don't want that. And since they have a habit of lying about everything and they want to stall, 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 it just seems as General Jack said on Fox, and he said it before, it's getting to the point where we have to finish the job in the least painful way possible. You don't want to kill innocent people. We're not going to get regime change. It doesn't look like and it's not really for us to do. As much as we'd like to help the people that want to be free, 40,000 protesters were killed. These are the scum of the earth, these leaders. Make no mistake about it. It's really getting to the point now. I'm starting to cringe every time. And I respect, though, what he's saying, the president. You guys know I love President Trump. It's no secret. I respect he said today, I'll give him a few more days. I don't want to see more death. It's worth it because of that. Give him a few more days, and then it's all over. I'm not saying destroy their power plants and stuff. I don't know what you have to do. You may have to do that. We don't want to do that. You can say that the kids there are tomorrow's future terrorists, but that's not their fault. It's their evil parents and what have you, that they were taught by their parents. It's a vicious cycle. But the thing is that time is running out. People's patience is running out. You have to remember that it is so important that we cannot let a party full of thugs, people that hate America, that want to transform America into something that will be totally unrecognizable, that want to have boys marching into your girls' locker room, that want to demolish the Supreme Court, pack the court with liberal judges that got no soul, like the three liberals, in my opinion, that are on there already, and want to cause all kinds of havoc, playing a game of Robin Hood, where you rob from the rich and give it to the poor when it's undeserved. I'm all for everyone being treated and having health insurance. I am for that. I always have been. I'm for people being treated well and decently in prison. When they said, who was that prisoner now? They said that he was, being kept in prison, not even given some cases the 1 hour of day of recreation, and there were other ways they were mistreating him. No, you don't do that, because when they have American prisoners, they can justify it and say, look how they treat prisoners. You don't want that. It makes no sense to me for people to think that it doesn't matter how people are treated in prison. It's to me, in my personal way of thinking, it's like saying, I have respect for life, but if somebody commits murder, kill them. I've never been for that. I leave that to God's hands. After all, if we believe in God, we believe he controls their next breath. I don't have to do his job for him. So I've always believed in prison reform, in the sense that prisoners be treated well. I'm not for letting violent, cold murderers and people that have committed major assaults being released from prison. I'm not for that. They should do their time, and there should be real effective programs that could take someone that does have potential and reform them so they could someday be a benefit to society. So I'm real concerned every time I hear the president say, I'm not in a hurry. He doesn't always put things the right way. I'm not in a hurry. The American people are now in a hurry. They see the grocery prices because diesel fuel leads to higher grocery prices. They see the gasoline prices and they want it to stop. They want to go back to winning. And we've got to get that strait open. No matter what we have to do, we have to get that Strait of Hormuz completely open. We cannot back down from Iran. They are soulless people who will continue to stall and lie. That's 3 minutes of politics. Homer, thankfully, never had anything stolen where I live yet, Neil. Okay, that's good. Have I had something stolen? Trying to think. I don't know. All right, Beetle Voice. This is not a conspiracy channel. You know, it's one thing when you say everything metal is a hoax and what have you, but this is not a conspiracy channel. I don't care if you don't like Donald Trump. This third degree Mason, 33 degree, not third, but 33rd degree Masons are this is the wrong channel for that, because this is just going to lead to constant negativity. Whatever you think is the most controversial thing to say, you don't believe it. Do not trust any doctors. They have saved so many people's lives. God is the great physician. I suppose you don't believe in Jesus either, or media, unless it's for the better of humanity and not through vaccines. People make a choice whether they want a vaccine. I totally support Elaine not wanting a vaccine. I don't know how many she's actually had or not had, but this is not Alex Jones's channel. This is not. So you're stating the facts, and that's another way of telling me you're not going to cooperate, right? You're not going to cooperate. You're going to bring a darkness to this channel that is not what we do here. We're a fun family. We're a fun family, and people can have a belief, but they can't say it's got to be everybody's belief. They can't do that, So we had so little knowledge when COVID came on the scene. We had no experience with this. I understand what people say about Dr. Fauci being nefarious and trying to cover his butt, and then Biden pardons him on the way out. Of course, I understand all that, but you know, PCR test was a lie. That's when you make general statements like that, Beetle Voice. It's not founded in fact. You're no expert, and you're trying to speak for everybody, and you're putting everything in a box that doesn't look like a box, in a box, and you're gonna continue to do that time after time after time. That's what you're gonna do. I'm asking you not to. It's just not. COVID was planned decades ago. It's an irresponsible comment. It's a totally irresponsible comment. You have no way to back that up. So how many other things that are way out there do you believe in? How many? I'm only saying it because I know what it does. It infests the flavor of the conversation when this happens. To you, it's no conspiracy. Somebody said, I love this quote. I wish I knew who it was. It might have been somebody that was here at one time, might have been somebody that's still here, said, there's no conspiracies because they've all been proven true. I thought that was a very honest comment, at least. Homer, thankfully, never had anything stolen where I live. Yes, I said that already. Someone stole my treadmill, and you were on it at the time. You were on it at the time. Many people have a slew of dramatic stories, none of them that we can verify, none of them that we can look at ourselves objectively. So it can quickly become, uh, for them, it can become grounds to disavow everything. And I tell you, there's people that have been benefited from medical treatment, And if you're have a serious illness, you're going to probably want to do something about it. You're probably going to want to do something about it. So I have a feeling this is something you're going to mention all the time. You're going to hammer this point over and over and over again. Okay, well, that brought the conversation. What else do we have here? Gonna play a little bit of Pastor Bob's sermon from this past Sunday. Pastor Bob Joyce, the Prince of Peace, May 17th. Let's give a listen to that.
We all know who it is that we all are living for and are thankful to and grateful for what he's given to us. He's given us life and breath and everything. And that's what makes fellowship with one another so good. I feel sorry for people that don't know the Lord because they don't know how to love one another. They don't know how to fellowship with one another and be happy and content and looking forward to nothing to look forward to in life. But every morning we can wake up looking forward to the day. It's a wonderful day when you look at it with Jesus there. If I looked at my day without him there, it would be a sad day. It'd be a sad, dark, miserable day. But with Jesus there, even when it's raining, it's good. Even if there's thunder and lightning outside, it's still good when Jesus is there. The tornado's threatening, it's good when you better have Jesus in the house. Amen. It's always good to have Jesus around because he is the Prince of Peace. Hallelujah. When my soul was disturbed with sorrow, my heart was overburdened with sin.
I get nervous when he starts singing because that can that can trigger the algorithm that I don't want. I don't want that algorithm. Neo is getting ads again. Now Elaine Peterson has joined forces with Beetle Voice because she feels a kindred spirit. What I'm saying is that it takes us in a direction, no documentation needed. You can say anything you want. This is your personal belief, and it can just become that's what we do more and more and more. And It completely changes the channel. It completely changes it. And if you say something, you've got to be able to provide documentation. Sydney Tao, who I showed you the picture of, if she hadn't tried chemotherapy, all the signs are that she would have been dead about a year or so ago. So I'm glad she's still breathing. That's a generalized comment. Everything I say is proven by experts. You have to go, if you're a responsible reporter, journalist, you have to go through each topic. If you make comments about personal experiences in your life that are controversial, that would be the grounds you use to tell somebody else, don't use that treatment, don't do this, don't do that. We have no way to verify what you're in. If you have no intent to cause problems, then don't. Then don't. But I know where this leads, and it ain't a good place. Eventually, you end up being Alex Jones, and we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. You know, Trump and all the rest are 33rd, not third degree, but 33rd degree Freemasons and are all related. Conspiracy, pure conspiracy, pure bullshit. Okay? That's what that is. If we don't keep that honesty and if we let a person come on and do that, we've lost the channel. We've lost the channel. Donald Trump has done more. He walked away a billionaire, and he's richer all the time. He walked away from a very nice life that he loved because he wanted to put America first. He loves this country so much, and he sees the brood of vipers that are trying to change this country in a way that that it will. Forget it. If you have grandchildren, there won't be anything left for them. It'll be that unrecognizable. You just have to look at Hakeem Jeffries speak. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's as shallow as a kiddie pool. See his vision, see AOC's vision for America, see all the members of the squad. They want to take their country and transform America into their country, but without the dictator that would shoot them dead. No, no, no. So I'm not going to let somebody come on and say Trump is a 33-degree Mason. If you say it once, I can deal with it. But if that's your agenda to come on here, no, can't have that. Don't get your heart fluttering. Well, maybe I need a little flutter now and then. It's important, Pam, because I know where this goes. But I'm not that worked up. But you have to speak with passion sometimes. And this can be used as a divisive thing. Somebody new comes in with an agenda, with a set of beliefs that cannot be verified, and the whole flavor of the channel changes. Oh, yeah, for everything. You can provide proof that Trump is a 33rd degree Mason. Yeah. No, I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to listen. I'm not willing to let you, whoever you are, destroy this channel. I'm not going to let you do that. No, I'm definitely not willing to let you do that. I'm not. I can't. I've worked too hard on this channel. We have too much love here to go into that kind of thing and to hate. I can't do that. I can't go for that. No can do. I can't go for that. That rarely happens, but I can't do that. I'd rather lose a few than lose the whole flavor of the channel. Many of you know, and you have told me over and over again that what we have here is special, and I don't want to. I'm not going to let somebody call Trump a 33rd degree Mason whose plans are just to destroy this country. I'm not going You know, try it on one of the liberal. If you notice, the liberal talk show speakers, they never get any ratings on radio talk. The only one that had any success at all was Alan Combs. And that was because he was such a talent, such a wonderful man. He didn't, it's like Harold Ford on The View, much better than Jessica Tarlov. Would you agree? Because he expresses his views and they're not radical views. He's old school Democrat. I love old school Democrats. Welcome, 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 welcome. But the progressives, they're trying to destroy the country for you, me, our kids, and our grandchildren. I hope so, Elaine Peterson. I hope so. You like Pink Floyd, Todd says. Yeah, I was with a foot doctor today and he saw the shirt and he started talking about the band, of course, Pink Floyd. And we talked about Roger Waters, how he's a genius. But if you ever want to see a really interesting broadcast, watch Piers Morgan with Roger Waters. The whole band is pretty much disavowed Roger Waters as calling him the R word and everything else. And when Roger Waters tried to dismiss it, Piers, he's a great researcher, had all the comments he made in the past and all the history of the past. And Roger Waters just got more and more disgusted. But to his credit, he didn't walk away from the interview. And I respected that. And we all know Roger's a genius, So, but this whole thing that's going on, this anti Jew thing with Zionism, Jesus chose to come. That's got to mean something. Jesus chose to come to this earth as a Jew. He's coming back to Israel for the second coming. That's what we read in the Holy Bible. Say, I'm a Bible above anything. The word of God is sharper than a double-edged sword. It penetrates even into the joints and marrow. This is Romans 1, I believe. And when religion contradicts the word of God or adds to it, I can't go for that either. I can't go for that either. As much as I love the Osmonds, I don't believe the Book of Mormon is an authentic second revelation of God. Oops, I forgot some things. My mind, I don't know where it is these days. Here's the Book of Mormon. I don't believe that. But I certainly believe in their right to believe it. I believe that. And I don't think the Osmonds are going to hell. I think God will say they were spoon-fed this from the first moment of consciousness. And they love me. I look at the heart. God looks at the heart. He looks at the heart. Do I stand? Do you stand on the word? Not like I should. Not like I do. I believe that it is the ultimate guide because it was written by the Holy Spirit. Man just moved the pen. But do I always follow it? Do I choose sin over obedience? Still, yes. Yes, I'm like Paul. The things I want to do, sometimes I don't do. The things I want to do with all my heart spiritually, these are the things I find myself not doing. So I never look at somebody and say, well, if you're going to do that kind of sin, or if you did that or this, Jimmy Swaggart, how dare he with a prostitute? Then he was talking about her daughter. Oh, he's definitely in hell now. I don't believe that. I believe he repented, and I believe the blood of Christ covers a multitude of sins. Andy Griffith was a teacher at Bobby Goldsboro High School in North Carolina before he was an actor. I never knew that. And honey, I miss you, and I'm feeling good, and I long to be with you, if only I could. That was a number one record that wouldn't leave the charts. See, I only like the Pink Floyd hits. I can't tell you much. Obviously, Comfortably Numb is a great song. but most of the album cuts went by me because I was too busy listening to the current top 40 hits of back till 1988. After that, I don't know. I don't know squat. I don't know squat. So, so we lost a legend. You Texas people probably know who I'm going to talk about. We lost a preacher legend that I started watching in 1988. Seemed like a fine man to me. He was in his 80s. We lost the TV evangelist James Robison a few days ago. Whether he was on the Trinity Broadcasting Network or on his daily show with his wife Betty, I thought he was the real deal, a great Texan man who loved the Lord. I got a little concerned with his amount of fundraising. And I don't like to do any, I don't want to say, please hit the thanks button because I need that too much. I don't want to say it at all, if the truth be known, and keep hitting the Cash App and stuff like that. It's funny, God seems to bring people in that get me maybe to the bare minimum, but still, I have been surprised many times. So thank you. Thank you, those people that do that. But man, I haven't met a Christian that walks their faith all the time. We all seem to have this flesh that gnaws at us. We we love it. And what can I tell you? Even when you're born again, you still have to deal with the flesh. But that's what you have to do. Todd Bradshaw hits the Cash App for Gatorade. I only bought one bottle this time, and kitty treats. Yes, yes. It's funny. Last night, Todd, I fed them at about 11:45 after I washed the dishes. I'll be doing the same thing tonight. There was Suki as the black cat. She's the mother, and she always wants to get her share, that's for sure. And then there's Quentin. They're all Dark Shadows characters. Suki Forbes from Dark Shadows. Quentin Collins, Nicholas Blair, who was the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy on Dark Shadows. There's Josette Dupre, and there's Millicent. She has many maladies. She's very timid, Millicent. And sometimes their father comes around. That's Tabby. He's not named after a Dark Shadows because he predates when we started doing that. And there's a Barnabas Collins that comes around, black and white cat, male. So I fed them, and then I sat down and was watching some documentary. And all of a sudden on the porch, oh my goodness, all hell broke loose. And I get up and I give a yell because I'm hoping the window is open. Screen is there, but the window is open. I'm hoping to scare away whoever has invaded the back porch. So I open the door and I don't see any cat except Suki, the mom. And she's sitting there. It's almost like she's smoking a cigarette. I got this. Calm down. Don't worry. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. It was just like this serene look on her face. And I said, oh, all right. And I see Millicent by the shed poking around to see what's going on now. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw. I appreciate that. I'm going to talk to you after this because I want to get your thoughts. There's my channel. And here's the live stream. Homer's got ads again. Let's see. Steve Martin. What was the name of that movie? I like the one that Robert Duvall did, The Apostle. I like that. He didn't get it all right, but he was very good. May he rest in peace, Robert Duvall. Flesh isn't saved. Well, Paul had a personal experience. I agree with that, technically, obviously. Paul had a personal experience. He didn't have to say, "Am I right about Jesus? Or is this a fantasy I bought into? Is it really the aliens that are creators? Is it all a plot?" I've thought of these things. I'm not stupid. God doesn't freak out when you consider these things. But yes, Paul, um, who was had a personal encounter with Jesus. He used to persecute Christians, and then became obviously born again. He must have been. He would write many books under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit in the Bible. And then we got him in Romans 7, and he's confessing to present day sexual sin, a war waging in his members. Guys, we know what he's talking about. He's not talking about a temper problem, you know? When he talks about the thorn in the flesh, I'm not sure he wasn't talking about a special brand of sexuality, but it was clear from the war that was waging in his members, and that he confessed to actually being present sin that he was committing. That is something that a real Christian knows that they sin all the time, and that they constantly have to go to God and ask to confess their sins, and He will be faithful and just to forgive us. If you're not bothered by your sin, you definitely aren't saved. If you're not bothered by it. But I've never met someone who walked in that faith all the time and didn't deliberately choose sin on other occasions instead. So I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean, Homer. And now you're having ads. Could I have done in the last 70 years, especially since I was saved in 1984, could I have given a better effort? Of course. Of course. The door of escape, many times I went over and just closed the door. I'm not going to lie because it makes me look better, you know? I'm not going to do that. Should I be doing more here in the fourth quarter? Absolutely. Absolutely. Steve Martin movie was Leap of Faith, right? But it's been so long since I've seen that. So I can't really remember the total approach to it. Um, I know, I'm sure he pointed out all the shenanigans that go on, probably in the Pentecostal movement and what have you. And with the way Christianity is practiced in general. The whole reason I started this channel in 2016, the the virtual church of the disillusioned, depressed, and downtrodden, was because I thought there were so many people that went into a church and saw all these games and saw all the phoniness and hypocrites. It's one thing to strive to follow the Lord and fall short. It's another thing to put on a show when you know you're full of malarkey. You know you're full of malarkey. That's different. You can have a heart for the Lord, but mess up. And everybody wants to blame everything on the devil. It's not all the devil's fault. It's us choosing to disobey God, jumping off the potter's wheel. We were on the potter's wheel. We jumped off deliberately because we wanted to have a season of sin. She was just too cute to say no to. She was just too darn cute. Nancy, you probably say, what the heck did I come into tonight? I love the movie The Jerk. Yes. What was the name of his dog, Nancy? I can't remember. Yeah, Steve is he was brilliant as Clouseau. He didn't try to do what the genius Peter Sellers did. He tried a little bit different approach. He made it his own in a sense. And I thought both of the movies that he did as Clouseau, both of the Pink Panther movies, was great. and his partner in crime for all these years, for many years anyway, Martin Short, is another absolute genius. The man has recently gone through horror, first with the death of his wife of cancer and the death by suicide of his daughter. And you see this interview. Have you seen some of it on CBS this morning? I saw the clips. I don't watch the show live, but I saw some of the clips, and you know, brilliant interview, I thought. And who just doesn't love Martin Short? Who doesn't love Steve Martin? I haven't heard anybody speak against them. Sometimes you find out that the person that you love hates you and is very shallow. I just saw, I guess Woody Harrelson has a podcast, and he had on Ted Danson. And who was the third one? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, all three actors, I've loved their work. Woody Harrelson, loved his work. And they're just bashing, Republicans and of course Orange Man. And I'm thinking, man, they're brilliant actors. But as I hear them speak now, you know, they're not very bright people. You can have talent, you can have book smart and be stupid. I've seen that happen many times. But if you have God's wisdom, then you're smarter than all of them. Than all of them. Elaine says, I got excommunicated from a church before. I guess I was, uh, uh, I got excommunicated from a church before. I guess I was the worst sinner in the congregation. Someone has to be, ooh, I thought you were going to say ecumenical. Someone had to be excommunicated. Well, I guess we're just going to have therapy sessions, Elaine. Let's see, what would a therapist say there? Well, first of all, he'd have to have a whole lot more information. Can't do that in this kind of setting. What needs to be said in an hour-long therapy session can't be said in a couple of things that you type or anybody else types. I get that. I had a nice conversation with Todd. I don't think you mind me saying that, right, Todd? And it was wonderful. I hope that we'll do it again. And your life has been hectic as hell lately, and mine has too. It's like, this is retirement. I feel so I feel pulled in too many directions here, directions I can't even talk about yet. Well, I certainly liked some of his movies. I mean, I loved the Michael J. Fox movie Doc Hollywood with Woody Harrelson. I thought he did some of the sleazy roles pretty good, including when he played Larry Flint. I saw it and I thought he was brilliant. Didn't see too much on Cheers. Didn't see too much of Ted Danson on Cheers, but I certainly loved Ted Danson in Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's been other Woody Harrelson films that I thought he was absolutely brilliant. But as a person, it's not too, he was disappointing, as often happens. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Harrison Ford. Not, I was going to say Robert Redford. Couldn't have been if it was recent. It was Harrison Ford, who I love, love Harrison Ford. Loved him in What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer, for example. Not a big fan of his action movies. I don't say I wouldn't sit and watch one if somebody was watching one, but I like his other stuff. I like when he played the president of the United States, for example, like that. But the three of them were just, I mean, I wanted to say, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Does that mean you would be happy if Kamala was the president of the United States and that everything the squad wants to do to America was happening? Were you happy with 4 years of Joe Biden? Really? Now, when you talk politics, I know there's some people here that don't like Trump. I understand he can really get under people's feathers, you know. So I don't agree with everything he says or even does. You know, I don't. But yeah, I'm going to vote for Vance Rubio in 2028 if it's the ticket. No doubt about it. So, what turned you off to Woody, Pam Donnelly? I'd be curious to know what turned you off. You didn't probably see the same interview I saw. Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty. And what about Heather Shaw? People know what I'm talking about? Heather Shaw? Have you seen her? What the heck is going on here? Uh, it's eerie, I tell you. We ought to do something on this eventually. I talk about this singer, Harriet. Look, we're going over 2 hours. I talk about this singer, Harriet, that if I believed in reincarnation, I would say she is Karen Carpenter. What about this Heather Shaw? I tell you, it's frightening. At first, I was sure. I was sure it was his daughter. It's not, right? How could it not be? Heather Shaw. And that's not even the best shot I could get. I could do better than that. I think I will. Pardon me, Governor. Sorry for the pictures on the phone. Overbuilt will not like them. Overbuilt Automotive. He's got too much under the hood, that guy. Too much under the hood. But that is so freaky. And she sounds like him. She can do a wonderful imitation of him. She'll joke about, well, he's got millions. I'm in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. You know? You think if I was related to him, I'd be in Oshkosh, Wisconsin? Wow. You love Karen Carpenter, right? So do I. Have you heard this, Heather? She's going to be touring right here in New York, Waterloo. Where the heck is Waterloo? That's not the place ABBA sang about, is it? Wasn't Doc Hollywood great? It was. And Woody was great in it. I could have been a doctor, says his character. I could have been a doctor, except for the math and science part. There's a guy in the toilet selling aftershave and handing out towels. What's that about? Oh, man. Yeah. Where do you live again, Neo? For the governor and which the gov and mayor would resign? I don't know. It was hauntingly beautiful, but I'll tell you, Harriet comes real close to that hauntingness. She really does. One name only, Harriet. Uh-oh. Now Elaine must have said something wild, and she wants to disavow it. One-on-one. You were just referring to that Hole & Oates song, right? One-on-one, I want to play that game tonight. I got no voice left, folks. Excuse me. Pardon-moi. Yeah, One-on-One by Hall & Oates. I know. Well, I can't condemn you, Elaine. Just please don't go too far with it. We're live, you know. Because this has been my biggest struggle all my life, including my Christian life, ever since that incident in Montreal when I was 7. So I can't condemn people, but you still here, Homer? Because I think you had more to say, and um, I wanted to know your mind on that. And I'm not in a confrontational way at all. I was just curious. Maybe Homer left in disgust. Yeah, you can't. It's true. The flesh and the spirit can't coexist. But at the same point, um, God knows that we are weak. He knows that we are from dust, and He understands that we will sin. And God decided to send His very best son, very best gift, His only Son, Jesus Christ, to be a sin substitute for us on the cross. You have such wisdom, Jack, like you're speaking, Jack, like you're speaking of the Lord. I always have to figure out what you're saying and what provoked the comment, and it's almost impossible to do. Like we were having a one-on-one conversation. So I can tell you this, Elaine, the whole reason I started this channel originally was that I felt there were those people that were so disillusioned from the way Christianity is practiced in these United States. I have no idea anywhere else. I have a feeling it's not too strong in, say, London, but whatever. Martin Short was good in inner space. They talked about that in one of these interviews that I saw with him. Can't remember what they said, though. Rocky Mountain Red Wing, hello to you, if I haven't said it already. Hi there. Good to have you aboard. That's right, Jack. I couldn't get correct words out. What's right? Exactly what's right. It's such an important issue. But I don't mind admonishment. I don't, especially if it's from a fellow believer in Jesus Christ. We see that in the Bible. We see David who was eventually, after he caused someone to be killed, murdered. There's a difference between killing and murder in the Bible. Thou shalt not murder. I know Todd agrees with this, is what the commandment should really read. That's the correct translation. Murder. Don't you go murdering or having some guy murdered because you want to get with his wife. And that's what David did. With Bathsheba. What a name. You don't hear too many women called Bathsheba anymore. Then you don't hear any women called Ethel or Gertrude anymore. For different reasons. Some of your comments, Neo, are certainly original. It's been hot and humid here in Tennessee, says Todd. I'll trade the weather with you past that weird, crazy weather these days. It is, right? I have to admit that much. I'm not saying I don't agree with climate change on any level. I think the horse has left the barn, and getting yourself a Tesla is not necessarily going to be much help for the planet. But I totally respect those that have one and that can afford one, So I don't think Richard has been doing too well, right? I'm talking about Richard Carpenter, not Richard Lyon. He's resting, last I heard. We have texted back and forth a little bit. Oh yeah, just incredible duo, brother-sister duo. I love Goodbye to Love. 95 and humid today in North Carolina. Yeah, I can't find as much as I can talk about the flesh is weak, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I could have done a lot better, and I can do a lot better tomorrow if I put my mind to it. You know, I mean, I see some pretty thing walking down the street with her thong sticking out. Am I gonna choose to dwell on that, or just look away and say, get thee behind me, Satan"? Which am I going to do? I could go either way with it. I could go either way with it. I've never wanted to BS people. I don't want to tell all my secrets either. Weather in Denver is so weird. It always is, though, right? It's been rainy and cold. How cold? Have you had any snowflakes in the air at all, Rocky Mountain Red Wing? Because I think you've had them later than this, like June or July. I don't know. Because we had a really hot few days there. AC is still on, and I don't feel chilly. I don't feel chilly. Trying to give you just a little bit longer here before we wrap up. 53 likes. Thank you very much for that. Please subscribe. Please subscribe if you haven't already and you see this. Please subscribe. It helps me. Trying to get up to 1,200, but for me, it's a tough road. You need a series of really hot videos from new people, and it's tough. You do a new topic, and it takes a long time to get it going. Bob Joyce was not that. He broke all the rules. My videos did well right away and only got more views as they went along. So remember, Pastor Bob this Friday in Cabot, Arkansas. Tickets will be available at the door. It's what they're saying now. And so go to bobjoyce.org. There could be an update on there before Friday. Who knows? bobjoyce.org. Let's see here. I think we've spanned the gamut. Put on my readers. Oh, boy. The MRI is now about 13 hours away. Got to see what that brain tissue looks like for sure. And I think this will be my last ever. There won't be another sequel. You guys know if I quote heavily from a particular scripture, you could say I'm stuck in Romans 7, and I could understand where you'd come to those conclusions. Scripture I most refer to is the 7th chapter of Romans, starting with verse 14 in the NIV. We know that the law is spiritual, but I am unspiritual, sold as a slave to sin. Todd, we have to talk about that verse sometimes because it's a very strong voice. There are theologians that have come to that verse and said, what do I do with that? The people who write the study Bible notes and stuff. I'd like to know what you think about that verse. I am unspiritual, sold as a slave to sin. Oh, truer words have never been spoken than verse 15 for me. I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. As it is no longer I myself who do it, but it is sin living in me. Almost sounds like a cop-out, right? I know that nothing good lives in me. Trust me, anything good you ever see is not for my flesh. I agree the law's good. I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire, I do, I have the desire to do what is good, but at 70 years old, I often cannot carry it out. For what I do is not the good I want to do. No, the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer, he says this again, it is no longer I who do it, but it is sin living in me that does it. So I find this law at work. When I want to do good, evil is right there with me. For in my inner being, I delight in God's law. But I see another law at work in the members of my body, waging war against the law of my mind and making me a prisoner of the law of sin at work within my members. What a wretched man Jack Willard is. What a wretched man I am. Who will rescue me from this body of death? Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ, our Lord. 7th chapter, part of it from the book of Romans. Mary Ellen? I didn't know we had a Mary Ellen. Mary Ellen Brown? I knew a Mary Ellen Brown. I see you're here, Dina. Hey, Jack. Hi. I just noticed you have Bob Joyce. Oh, yeah. No, I said that at the beginning when I went to the channel myself and saw I was talking to somebody who's very well known in the reality shows. He had posted something, and I, at that time, was the only one that had responded to it. I'm hoping it's a new project that he is going to do to bring him back to television. I can't say any more. But he answered and said, "Thank you, bud. Hope you enjoy the season." And I responded one more time, of course, and I invited him to watch us and to, if he ever wants to do a phone interview. I heard him on a podcast once, and I didn't think the interviewer was very good. Not that I'm perfect by any means, and I don't do many interviews these days, but I thought a better job could have been done. And if he has a new project, as soon as he's ready to talk about it, I'd love to talk to him about it. So that took away a little prep time, and I had to quickly type, and it ended up bod. But I'm about to fix that now in post-production. No, I definitely don't want to call him Bod Joyce. Now, if I said Bod Pitt, was writing about Brad Pitt, you'd say, oh, that could be a Freudian slip. You think he has a nice body. That would be fair analogy, I guess, to ponder. Good night, Bayou Girl. Katina Swatsworth at the last minute. Hey, Jack and family, you missed a lot, Katina, including some drama. But you'll probably watch the replay. Good. What did I miss? She wants a capsule. I don't even want to say. I would prefer to say it to you in an email. It would kind of be opening up something I don't really care to revisit, but I may have to, because sometimes people want an explanation or what have you. Amen. Thank you, Katina. I'll shoot you a quick email, but I do have to feed those kitties. Thank you for watching Worldwide Ramblings. Again, I have taken my voice to the max for a Wednesday night. Bob Joyce live in Cabot, Arkansas. Friday, tickets available at the door. Keep checking on that status at bobjoyce.org. bobjoyce.org. Thanks for watching. A big God bless you. Perhaps we'll talk to you on Saturday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And if we can do a pre-recorded video, we will. Bye-bye for now.